हेलो अमरीन, वीडियो ऑन नहीं कीजिएगा। वीडियो नहीं स्टार्ट करनी, ऑडियो ही है। जी जी जी, ऑडियो रिकॉर्ड करा रही हूँ मैं तो सब। ठीक है सर, ठीक है। तो डबल माइक कहाँ से बंद करूँ? माइक एक मिनट रुकिएगा, एक मिनट होल्ड करना। अब सही है? हेलो हेलो, अब सही है? ठीक है सर, ठीक है। Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Zamreen Zamir from the Department of Pathology. Today I will discuss a topic related to pathology as well as related to microbiology. The topic is uh, rheumatic fever and rheumatic heart disease. So basically these two pathological condition is related to post-infective infection bacteria. So today's learning objective is what is the basic etiology and what is the epidemiology and pathogenesis of rheumatic fever and rheumatic heart disease, and what is the pathological lesion which we are observing on autopsy or biopsy, and what are the clinical manifestation and laboratory finding, and what are the differential diagnosis. Coming to the prior to, I am going to discuss the streptococcus species or streptococci. This is a review that everyone knows that streptococci are the gram negative, gram positive cocci, and it have a group B streptococci is basically containing a capsule outside the cell wall, and then there is a, this is the capsule of the bacterium, and then there is a cell wall, and then from the cell wall, inside the cell wall, there is a protein structure which and then there is a cytoplasmic membrane, and inside the cytoplasm there is cytoplasm. This whole structure of peptidoglycan and carbohydrate is basically consists of a hyaluronic acid around the bacterium. So it's basically give the protection of these streptococci against the phagocytosis by phagocytic cells or by the neutrophil. So this factor is containing certain special protein which is known as the M protein, lipotecoic acid, and the protein F, which is basically the virulent part of that streptococci, and by which it produces the disease and infective period. So the group B, beta hemolytic streptococci are responsible to cause the rheumatic fever and rheumatic heart disease. Why it is known as the beta hemolytic? This is its chemical artificial medium. That's why it is known as the beta hemolytic group. So so the group A beta hemolytic streptococci can cause the infection of normally it can cause the sore throat or skin infection. So normally these streptococci produce the pharyngitis and skin infection. So the group A beta hemolytic streptococci can lead to the acute rheumatic fever and rheumatic heart disease, which is well known as the post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis or post-streptococcal endocarditis. And there is a numerous strain of the group A beta hemolytic. Only a few strains are responsible to cause the disease, especially the M type 1, 3, 5, 6A beta hemolytic streptococci are responsible to cause the rheumatic fever and rheumatic heart disease. So normally these streptococci can cause the pharyngitis, sore throat, or it can cause the skin infection. So it can be occur post streptococcus glomerulonephritis only with the skin disease. When there is an skin infection and rheumatic fever or cardiac infections. Now coming to the rheumatic fever. How we define a rheumatic fever is rheumatic fever is an inflammatory disease appear after 10 to 15 days to 6 weeks after a group A streptococci infection in about 3% of the patient as a complication of inadequate treatment of streptococcal sore throat or throat infection. If we are giving a proper antibiotic and proper treatment to pharyngitis and skin disease, so the chances of these post-streptococcal inflammation or infection are rare. But if we are not treating properly the streptococcal sore throat and streptococcal skin infections, so it can be एक मिनट बेटा रुकिएगा shit. So it can be appear as a complication of streptococcus pharyngitis and streptococcal skin diseases. So basically, it is basically the delayed type of immune response to group A streptococcal antigen that cross-react with the host protein. So antibodies against these antigen and the CD4 positive cell, that is a cell-mediated immune response, will develop against the M protein, which is a part of the bacterial cell wall, and it also recognized the cardiac muscle or the kidney muscles as an self-antigen. So cross-reactivity of M protein antibodies and sensitized CD4 positive T cells is directly cross-react with the cardiac muscle and with the kidney cells. So it produces inflammatory response at the site of heart and in the site of the kidney. The antibodies mind can activate the what is going on with the antibody antigen interaction take place. There is activation of the complement system and the recruitment of recruitment of the Fc receptor bearing cells at the site of inflammation and release of the cytokine production by the stimulated T cell, which lead to the macrophage activation. So epidemiologically, if we are observing the epidemiological survey, the age of rheumatic fever is lies between the 5 to 15 years and mostly to the susceptible patient which have already the case diagnosed previously with the pharyngitis and skin infection. The case is very rare, less than 3 years. Boys are more prone as compared to girls and common in third world country because there are certain environmental factors which prone to develop the sore throat and skin infection, that is overcrowding, poor sanitation and poverty, and the incidents are more during the fall, winter and early spring because this is the time for allergen production as well as this is the time for the flu and flu, upper respiratory traction, and skin infections. So if of the connective tissue of the cardiac muscle, as well as the joint tissues, as well as in the skin, we are observing the ash, nodules in the subcutaneous tissues, and sometimes these fibrinoid degeneration can be observed at the basal ganglion, resulting in the chorea. So in the cardiac muscle, this delayed type of hypersensitivity appear as a pancarditis, and in the joint it appear as a arthritis, and Ashkoff nodules are in subcutaneous tissue, which are diagnostic point of pathologically, and sometimes patient may have the complaint of chorea. So clinically, the patient may present arthritis. So you should take the complete history of previous infection within the 6 weeks. So we can make a diagnosis if a patient appear young patient, there is no comorbid, appear certain arthritis. So you should think about the post-streptococcal arthritis. So patient may have complaint of migratory polyarthritis involving the major joint, commonly involve the joints of the knee, ankle, elbow, and wrist. In children below 5 years, arthritis usually mild. One large joint after another become painful and swollen for a period of days and then subside spontaneously, leaving no residual disability. This is the diagnostic criteria of post-streptococcal arthritis. Otherwise, if patient have more advanced age with different type of the comorbid and the history of the drugs, so you can be diagnosed or you can be differentiated from other causes of arthritis in comparison to infective arthritis that is caused by post-streptococcal arthritis. Secondly, patient may present with the cardiac issue, because in the cardiac issue, patient may present with the pancarditis, that is endocarditis, myocarditis, and pericarditis occur in 40 to 50% of cases. So patient can be present with the disturbance in the cardiac activity, as well as the related to blood pressure issues, patient can be present. So carditis is the only manifestation of rheumatic fever that leave a permanent damage to the organs. So it should be dealt properly. Or valvulitis occur in acute phase, then in chronic phase there is a fibrosis, calcification, stenosis of the heart wall, and the heart wall is appear as a fish mouth walls. So the patient have a lifetime damage of the heart wall, and patient start the regurgitation and different type of murmur and compromised cardiac activity for the lifetime. So third one is the sudden chorea, means when there is a fibrinoid accumulation of antigen antibody complex in the basal ganglion, the patient may present with the chorea, and it occurs only into 5 to 10% of the cases, mainly in the girls of age of 1 to 15 years of age, may appear even after 6 months of attack of the rheumatic fever. Clinically manifested as a cleansing, deterioration of the handwriting, emotional disturbance, and grimacing of the face. So you can be observed and you can be asked for the history of previous 6 months of cause of the rheumatic fever, or you can be asked for the sore throat within the 6 months if you are suspecting a case of rheumatic arthritis. So clinically, you can be diagnosed by observing the erythema marginatum, which occur less than in 5% of the patient, but it is a unique transient lesion of, this is the lesion. This is the lesion. Lesion of 1 to 2 inch in size, pale center with red irregular margin, more on trunk and limb, and non-itchy version with application of heat, and often associated with chronic carditis. So if we are suspecting the post-streptococcal carditis, pancarditis, so you should be clinically you should be search out for the erythema marginatum because it have association with the chronic carditis. And sometimes there is a subcutaneous nodule occur in only 10% of the cases. Painless, pea-sized palpable nodule, mainly over extensor surfaces of the joint, spine, scapula, and scalp. So it is associated with a strong seropositive patient. So always associated with severe carditis. So it's mean if you are suspecting a case of carditis, you should think about the erythema marginatum, as well as you should find out the subcutaneous nodule, which is the diagnostic criteria to confirm your diagnosis of rheumatic fever and rheumatic arthritis. Other feature, a patient may have complaint of low-grade fever, arthralgia, pallor, anorexia, loss of weight within the few days. Coming to the rheumatic heart disease. Rheumatic heart disease is a complication of rheumatic fever. So a patient may initially have the rheumatic fever, after onward the patient may present with directly the involvement of the heart, and now the patient is classified as rheumatic heart disease. That means there is a permanent damage of the valve, and the valves are appear as a fish mouth style, and there is a solitary mitral valve involvement in 65 to 70% cases, and it's a combined aortic and mitral valve involvement in 20 to 25% cases. The patient may be present with the pancarditis or including the endocarditis, myocarditis, and pericarditis. In endocarditis, patient may have the mitral valve nodules, and there is a restriction movement of the mitral valve by which it is directly or indirectly involvement of the aorta. So the rheumatic heart disease may be present in acutely or chronically. In acute phase, there is a valvulitis occur in acute phase, and Askov bodies, then a foci have fibrinoid necrosis formed in the layer of the heart, which is mostly observed when we receive a autopsy sample of the unknown cause of death. So it's anti-Schoof cells and the pancarditis is observing. So normally we are not taking the biopsy sample from the heart muscle, but if we sometime we receive the whole heart for the to identify the cause of death, and when we are observing the valves, it shows the valvulitis and Schoof bodies and anti-Schoof cells and the pancarditis by inflammation of the acute inflammatory cells. So that's why routinely we are not able to find out these bodies, but on autopsy we can find out these type of findings. In chronic or heal phase, the chronic phase fibrosis, calcification and stenosis of the heart valve, the fish mouth valve, and sometimes there is a leaflet thickening and commissure fusion and the shortening and thickening and fusion of the tendinous cardi. So the movement of the volvulus is completely lost, and there is a subendocardial collection of the Schoof nodules in the left atrium form the thickness of the McAlpin plaque. ये देखिए, ये इस तरह से हमें मिलते हैं. These are the Schoof nodules. ये पूरा नोड्यूल है, or these in the rheumatic heart disease. This is also a post-autopsy finding. Normally, routinely, there is no chances to take a cardiac biopsy. These are possible when there is only open heart surgery, or this is possible when we need the whole heart due to some other to diagnose a cause of death. So a Schoof body is basically consisted of the foci of the T lymphocyte. These are the Schoof nodules, and these are the Schoof body. These are the nodules which containing the occasional there is a plasma cell, and there is a plump activated macrophages called the anti-Schoof cells. the pathognomic for rheumatic fever. Anti-SCOF cells is basically the macrophages, which is modified macrophages. These are the macrophages have abundant cytoplasm with a central round to oval nuclei, binucleated or sometimes single nucleated, with the chromatin condense into central cylindrical wave, ribbon-like. So this is the diagnostic criteria when we are receiving a cardiac biopsy or heart muscle for diagnosis. This is the post autopsy finding. This shows the mitral rheumatic heart disease, which shows that there is a defective in the valve lines, and there is a thickening of the chordae tendineae. These are the chordae tendineae, and this shows the thickness of the chordae tendineae. Okay. And again, the fish mouth appearance are the buttonhole stenosis. This is also the post-autopsy finding, which we are not observing in living humans. So laboratory, how we are going to diagnose if we are suspecting the pericarditis or rheumatic heart disease. So we should go for the relevant parameters. So we can go for the ESR, which shows the high ESR. There is anemia, leukocytosis, because it is an acute phase disease. There is elevated C-reactive protein, and then go for the ASO titer, which is more than 200 Todd units. So peak value attenuate at the 3 weeks, then come down to the normally by the 6th week. Then directly we can go for the anti-DNase B streptococci test, and we can go for the throat culture to isolate the gram group A beta hemolytic streptococci. And then we can go for the other laboratory finding is specific to the CVS. That is, we can go for the ECG, which shows the prolonged PR interval in the 2nd and 3rd degree block, and ST depression and T inversion. Then we can go for the 2D echocardiography, which shows the valve edema, mitral regurgitation, left atrial and left ventricular dilatation, pericardial effusion, and decreased contractility and decreased filling and contraction of the heart muscles. So how we can be diagnosed? Because we are unable to take the biopsy sample, so we have a clinical diagnosis. We have a criteria which is known as the modified Jones criteria. No single diagnostic sign and specifically laboratory test available for diagnosis. So we make a chart. We have a criteria which is known as the modified Jones criteria. What is the modified Jones criteria? This is a guideline for diagnosis of rheumatic fever. So the major manifestation, minor manifestation, and supporting evidence of post-streptococcal rheumatic heart disease. So clinically, criteria is the carditis, polyarthritis, chorea, erythema marginatum, and subcutaneous nodule. And in the minor manifestation, there are certain clinical findings and there are certain laboratory findings. In clinical finding, there is a previous rheumatic fever history or rheumatic heart disease, arthralgia or fever. History uski hogi, then we can correlate this clinical finding with the laboratory finding. There is acute phase reaction, means ESR raised, C-reactive protein raised, leukocytosis prolonged, and on ECG there is a prolonged PR interval. And supporting evidence of streptococcal infection, there is an increased titer of anti-streptococcal antibodies. That is, a ASO titer should be raised. Other is a positive sore throat, positive throat culture for group A streptococcus, and recent history of the scarlet fever or scarlet fever is basically caused by group A beta hemolytic streptococcus. So the presence of 2 major criteria or of 1 major or 2 minor criteria indicate a high probability by evidence of group A streptococci infection. So what is the prognosis? Rheumatic fever can be reoccur whenever the individual experience a new group A beta hemolytic streptococcal infection if not on prophylactic medicine. So that means we should treat the properly to the sore throat patient and good prognosis for older age group, and if no carditis during the initial attack. Bad prognosis for the younger children and those with the carditis with valvular lesion. So because everyone knows that if there is an inflammation and infection of the heart muscle, there is a completely permanent damage of the heart muscle. So if the patient have the rheumatic heart disease and patient have involvement of the heart muscle, so the patient have the bad prognosis. Otherwise, the patient have a good prognosis if there is a minor or no involvement of the heart muscles. Thank you, beta. Waiting for your questions. बेटा मैं रेडी हूँ, आप मुझसे क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं. बेटा there is no question. No, beta, both are Ashnoff and caterpillar appearance are the Ashnoff cells में appear होती है. Condensation of the chromatin material जो होता है उसकी appearance caterpillar cell की तरह होती है. Ashnoff cells को ही caterpillar cells कहते हैं. Basically उसको Ashnoff cell कहते हैं, मगर उसकी appearance जो होती है caterpillar cell की तरह होती है. Same है, दोनों same ही है बेटा. कैटरपिलर अपीयरेंस है, सेल का नाम एंटीएस्नॉफ है. रेफरेंस बेटा पैथोलॉजी आपकी रॉबिन्स बेसिस है, उसमें आपका जो सीवीएस मॉड्यूल है ये उसी से बनाया हुआ लेक्चर. यस बेटा, ये तो रूटीन की बहुत रूटीन 10-12 पेशेंट होते हैं, क्योंकि वी आर वेरी निग्लिजेंट. हमारी जो सोर थ्रोट है वो हम सेल्फ ट्रीटेड ही करते हैं उसको, और ये बहुत ही कॉमन डिजीज है. रूटीन बेसिस पे एसोटेटाइटर जो है वो काफी पेशेंट का रेज्ड होता है, और मोस्टली फ्रॉम द रूमेटिक जो क्लिनिक होती है, रूमेटिक क्लिनिक जो है वो वहां से जो पेशेंट आ रहे होते हैं, rheumatic disease. What could difference between the rheumatic disease and rheumatic heart disease? Better when there is only involvement of the skin, as well as the patient have the involvement of the kidney, but the involvement of the heart is not so much. So the patient is known as rheumatic fever. This is the basically the post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis and post-streptococcal skin infection. But sometimes the patient may directly present with the involvement of the heart muscle, and there is no association of involvement of the skin, no association of involvement of the neurons, basal ganglion, and there is no involvement of the joint. So patient may directly be present with the rheumatic heart disease, and patient may present with the rheumatic fever. Rheumatic fever means the involvement of the kidney, involvement of the skin, involvement of the basal ganglion, and involvement of the heart muscle. But these are in acute phase, so there is a chance of recovery is more as compared to the rheumatic heart disease. Rheumatic heart disease means it's a chronic type of infection, and the patient may only present with the heart manifestation, which may be the second relapse of the rheumatic fever.